Shalom, shalom, Israel. I'm Brother Ananias,
Brother Benai.
Brother Eric.
Brother Baruch.
and we are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And tonight, we're going to come to you, give you some knowledge, hopefully give you more than you had yesterday. And at the end of the day, we just want to give our praise and honor and glory to the Most High God of Israel for all things that he does for us, allowing us all to be here today, making it through another successful week, to be here tonight on this call. Happy Sabbath to you all. And tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about, well, tonight's topic is called Israel, Get You Together. Tonight we aim at helping our brothers and sisters in the nation of Israel to become more aware, more alert, more effective, more productive through what we lack as a whole, which is organization. It's a key value in our lives that a lot of us tend not to understand the value as much as we should. If it's one thing that the Lord teaches throughout the scriptures, is to be organized. As you read throughout the scriptures, you'll see our brothers and sisters from Abraham to Christ were always organized, and here in Babylon the Great and around the world, one of the things that we lack as a people is organization, So tonight's class is aimed at teaching us how to become organized. And by doing so, we'll learn how to get things done more effectively, faster, without prolonging the process, So by doing that, we're going to learn to do so, hopefully adding another brick to the foundation of which the Most High wants us all to stand on, which is organization. So we need to understand first what organization is. So what we're going to do is look at the definition of it. I'm going to share my screen right quick. Yeah, see that? Yeah, brother, see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Says organization is a company, business, club, etc. that is formed for a particular purpose, or the act or process of putting the different parts of something in a certain order so that they can be found or used easily. The act or process of planning or arranging the different parts of an event or activity. So organization is the act, basically, I like number 2, the act or process of putting the different parts of something in a certain order so that it can be found or used easily. That's the whole purpose of organization. Just like throughout the scriptures, he always told the prophets to write it down so it can be found and used easily, so the brother can read it and run with it, organize their life according to it. Just like he always commands us to keep his commandments and live, But, organization is just another form of discipline. Let's see what discipline is, though. A lot of people hear it, say it all the time, but do they actually know what it means? Let's look that up right quick. Discipline is control gained by enforcing obedience or order. If you know anything about the Most High God of Israel, you know that that's what he's talking about when he's talking about discipline or keeping the commandments. Control gained by enforcing obedience or order. The Most High is strictly about order. It says orderly or prescribed conduct or pattern of behavior. Self-control. That is what discipline is, Let's go to the end result of being disciplined or being organized. That's what you hear in today's society, but they misconstrue the message. It's called success. They portrayed to us throughout the media and various other forms of media that success is making money. That ain't what success is. I know I done said that plenty of time before, and you brothers and sisters know that success does not mean that you just make money. Success, in hindsight, just basically mean that you were able to complete a task or a goal. So let's see, it says the essential meaning of success is the fact of getting or achieving wealth, respect, or fame. That's one aspect. It said the correct or desired result of an attempt That's what it is, basically. A result of an attempt. You know, whether you set a goal and reach it in 5 weeks or 6 weeks, you still were successful in completing it. It's from start to finish. Whether it was good or bad, you still succeeded in finishing it. Verse 3, it said, number 3 says, someone or something that is successful, a person or thing that succeeds. Basically what we was already talking about. A degree, a measure of succeeding, favorable, or desired outcome is what success is. When you start something and you finish it, that's success. Success, excuse me. You know, but here in Babylon the Great, they'll tell us otherwise. So I want to show us all a quick video of what being organized or being disciplined will do for you, especially in our nation. This is why we're teaching and talking about this tonight. I got another video to show you. Check this video out.
I'd like to start by sharing a story with you about a girl who received all A's and loved to
my screen froze up
through the hallways of middle school. She was made fun of because her shoes were not by a brand that was widely accepted by other middle school students. Yet she thought they looked good. All of a sudden, that girl who loved to learn hated walking through those same hallways, dreading a subject that was out of her control. Now, fast forward to a College Credit Plus meeting that would eventually change her life forever. The chance to start taking college classes and receive dual credit. She met with her college counselor to register for classes, only to hear that this program really is not made for students like her. But this was a chance for that girl to love learning again without judgment at a school she would later love walking through the hallways of. She was not going to let one person tell her that a free college program was not made for her. I'm sure you're dying to know who this girl is. I am that girl, and I have since graduated high school and college at 16 years old. In the 2 years that I worked to walk across the stage of my previous college, I learned how to make a plan so good you can do anything, including graduate college early. I have since discovered the first 3 steps to a successful plan. Step 1, set a goal so big that you can't achieve it until you grow into the person who can. You have to start by creating a plan to achieve. To put this in perspective for you, Warren Buffett made a bet with his childhood friend that if he was not a millionaire by the age of 30, he would do something terrible, and I would leave it at that. But that decision that he was going to be a millionaire led him to buy his first stock at 11, and now look where he is. One great tip I can give is to think about how you can blend those childhood dreams with reality. I chose to graduate at the age of 16 because I thought it would sound better when I told people. But along with that crazy goal was a list of classes I would take to meet the requirements at my high school and my college. Another tip, make or purchase a goals book. In it, you should write your goal, how you plan to achieve it, and what you will do after you achieve it. I find that this helps put it into fruition, and it makes it seem more attainable because you've thought it through this far. Next, read books involving the law of attraction, like Think and Grow Rich or The Secret, because it teaches you how to align the universe with your goals. But while you are doing so, don't forget that the key to success is the law of attraction plus action. Do you wish to start college early or go back to school? Do you hope to be an Olympic athlete or get back into shape? Do you plan to have a successful business by 12 or quit your job and pursue your passion? All these great thoughts have to start with a plan. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. This seems to be the hardest step because despite the energy you may have to meet this amazing goal, this is the time to actually put in the work. One way to nudge you on is to write it down. Write your goal down on a piece of paper and put it where you can read it every day. And once you start to forget that place, put it on every door, your bathroom mirror, your refrigerator, and definitely as a reminder on your phone. It's very easy to forget what your mission is for the day and what you have to do when your daily obligations have been met. So what should you be doing when you get home from work and school? Working on your goal. Next, create Google Alerts of keywords that help you stay updated on the industry you are thinking of, a professional athlete you plan to model your training after, or a role model with you hope to make the same impact. I have Google Alerts on business, CEO, billionaire, royal family, and dual enrollment because this helps me provide the utmost value to my blog readers.
Your mic muted. Your mic muted. All praise, all praise. Appreciate it, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that was just a small video just to show our brothers and sisters that things can be done at an early age if the right knowledge is instilled in you, it can be done. And a lot of us in the nation of Israel probably could have been pushed a whole lot further down the road or in life had we had the knowledge or the understanding of being organized. You know, we could have prepared our careers, whatever you can think of in life, if we would just had more knowledge or more understanding of being organized, you know. And one other person that most people can associate with who did something similar to that would be MLK. Martin Luther King did the same thing that little girl did. Graduated from high school at the age of 16. Was in college. Had a plan. The Lord set him up to do great things. You know, that's why we remember him to this day. The same thing with Moses. Same thing with Christ. Set him up at an early age, had him organized and diligent, passionate about what it was that he created them to do. You know, declaring the end from the beginning. How can you declare something from the beginning if you have no plan? You know. Matter of fact, let's get there right quick. Isaiah 46:10. Letting you know that the Most High is organized. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
You see that? The Lord said he's going to do all his pleasure. And he declared the ending from the beginning. You know, he already knew what this movie was going to end up being. And he already had it scripted in his mind what he was going to do. And he did that from the beginning and played it out. And it's playing out right now as we speak. And we on this call tonight. But being organized or coming up with a plan or a goal basically only require 5 basic steps, which are realizing what your goal is going to be, strategizing to reach that goal, visualizing what it is, acting on it, and reviewing it. You know, and tonight I put together a little PowerPoint just to help us go through it while pulling out the scripts, you know. So bear with me right quick. Let me pull it up. Y'all see that?
Yep.
All right. So the first step to any plan would be to realize what needs to happen. Understand what you want, you know, to figure out the goal that needs to be set, to identify the importance of the goal, and to determine the goal, if the goal is reachable or not. You know, just like the girl said in the video, she set a goal so big that she would have to grow into that role in order to reach it, you know. So that's what you got to do in life sometimes. You know, you got to set a goal, but understand what the goal is, figure out the goal that needs to be set, and identify whether or not it's important or not, or if it's going to help you. You know, because a lot of us get caught up in setting goals and setting our dreams on things that don't even really benefit us. And in its truth, we should be building each other up or setting our goals on things that's going to help magnify the ministry, help glorify the Most High, help build our brothers and sisters up, help build each other up, help build our households up, you know. So when we think to do plans, we need to be realizing what is the goal that we're trying to reach. And a lot of us have been groomed or conditioned throughout life to just set goals on trying to get money or have fun, you know. But as we read and come into this truth, we understand that life is more than just having money and having a good time, because our whole duty as men and women and children in this truth is to fear the Lord and to keep his commandments, as stated in Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 13. You know, we got to fear the Lord and keep his commandments. But let's go to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15, right quick.
Book of Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Christ.
Read 16.
Verse 16. From whom the whole body
Fitly.
fitly joined together and compact by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working and the measure of every part, make it increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love.
So a lot of us will hear this and read this and be like, well, what the hell that mean? It's saying basically, but speaking the truth in love, which is keeping the commandments, may grow up into him all things, which is the head, even Christ. So when we do, we should be trying to do unto Christ, because that's the head. And the head is going to lead us. And it says, from whom the whole body fitteth jointly together and compacted, by which every joint supplieth. So when we doing what we supposed to do for the head is going to control the body, and everything is going to work in perfection. So that's why we supposed to be modeling ourselves after the Most High. I mean, after Christ and after the Most High commandments. Once we doing what we supposed to be doing, the body will start moving the right way. And by having the commandments and by Christ having a plan for us, that's how we're going to be able to have a vision and a goal to move towards. They already got the plan mapped out. The Most High already got the plan mapped out. I mean, all we got to do is walk in it, you know, and we'll see what the end result will be, the promises, the rewards, you know, by having that faith. But from there, let's go to Proverbs 29 and 18.
Right.
The
book of Proverbs.
18.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
Let me get Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. So we got to have a vision in life, got to have a goal. Our duty, as we already stated, is to serve the Most High, to fear him and to keep his commandments. But throughout life, while we blessed with each and every day that we are blessed to be here, and we need to have a goal, a plan as to something that we striving to do, a reason as to why we wake up every day. And that is to have a vision. And without a vision, the people perish. All you got to do is look around society or look around your neighborhoods or look throughout your past, and you see the different individuals in your life or your old circle of friends that didn't have a plan or a goal in life, and see how things have magnified themselves, basically, have manifest to you to show you, damn, I got to be doing something. It's something I got to be, it's a reason why I'm here. It's something I got to be pushing forward. So you got to have a vision. And just like step one, making a plan or being organized, you got to understand and realize what your goal is. Figure out what that goal needs to be and identify the importance of it. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Read that one more time.
And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it.
So the Lord said, write the vision. So in Proverbs say you got to have a vision. Otherwise, the people going to perish, whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be yourself and your dreams and goals, you got to write it down. It said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he that may run with it, that read it. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
You see that? The Lord said, write that vision down, make it plain to yourself and to everybody else that's involved with you, or on that plan or that goal. Make it plain so that anybody that reads it can understand and roll with it. Therefore, it'll be profitable. It said, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. When you're making a goal or a plan, you always have an appointed time. Just like, for instance, you want to, I don't know, take a trip to around the world or whatever the case may be. But you might give yourself 6 months to a year to get it done. So what did you have? An appointed time, but you had a vision, so you had to write it down. You know, it said, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. It's not going to lie. You wrote it down, you visualized it, you put it together. You strategized, you put it together. Now it's time to act and put it in play. It's going to show itself. It's going to speak and not lie. So now let's go to Proverbs 3 and 6. Because a lot of us have come up with our own thoughts, our own mindset, and do what we want to do and end up falling short. Why? Let's read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct our paths.
You see
Be
that?
not wise.
That's all I wanted. It says, in all thy ways acknowledge him. Who is the him? The Most High God of Israel. All us Israelites are supposed to be acknowledging him in all that we do. Therefore, he'll direct our paths accordingly. But a lot of us, we tend to do things on our own and make decisions based on how we feel or the status of a situation. You know, sometimes your back might be pressed against the wall and you make rash decisions that end up hurting you more than they do helping you, because we don't rely or trust or acknowledge the Most High before we do anything, you know. But he's telling us right here, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Just like the brother was saying, it said, be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the Lord and depart from evil. Don't be wise in your own eyes, thinking that you understand what's going on. I've been guilty of that I don't know how many times in my life. But being in this truth helped me to realize how things would have turned out if I would have acknowledged him and just turned to him before I did anything, you know. But before the truth, like most of us, we were being wise in our own eyes, following the ways of the world, you know, following the thoughts in our own mind, doing things that we had no business doing. But let's go to Proverbs 16 and 3. Proverbs 16 and 3. And somebody give me Luke chapter 1 and 37.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established.
You see that? Commit thy works unto the Lord. Not only do you acknowledge him, but you commit your works to him, and thy thoughts shall be established. So step one is realizing what your goal or plan is going to be. Identify the importance of the goal. Like we was talking about earlier. Is this goal going to glorify the Most High? Is this goal going to help the body? Is this going to help push this truth? Is it really that important then? Because us being in this truth, we realize that the more brothers and sisters that wake up, the faster we have a chance of getting out of this hellhole called Babylon the Great, of this world we living in now. But we tend to set up plans and goals to do otherwise. When are we going to start setting up plans and goals to help magnify and push it so that we can wake our brothers and sisters up and get the hell out this hellhole? You know, we more focused, whether we want to admit it or not, on making money and having fun, when we need to be focusing on getting these brothers and sisters to this truth and building our spirits up day in and day out. But the Lord said, read that one more time. Proverbs 16 and 3.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established.
You see that? And thy thoughts shall be established. A lot of us put thought to a lot of things and they don't come to pass. You know what the scriptures always say, and it shall come to pass. Because the Lord done thought about it, and what he said and what he spoke on is gonna happen. How many of us have actually done that and it come to pass? Mainly because we don't have a plan or we ain't organized enough to get or reach that goal. Not all, but majority of us, you know, and that's why we're doing this class tonight. So from there, let's go to Luke chapter 1, verse 37. And then somebody give me 2 Timothy 1 and 7.
The book of Luke, chapter 1 and verse 37. And it reads, for with God nothing shall be impossible.
You see that? It's something simple. It don't require a lot of thought. Read that one more time.
For with God nothing shall be impossible.
Nothing is impossible. Just like the girl in the video said, you set a goal on something so big that you got to grow into that role in order to achieve it. You know, you want to be a leader, you want to be a teacher, you want to be a business owner. Set a goal that's so great that you got to do what? Grow into that role in order to achieve it. By investing in yourself with knowledge, educating yourself, educating the brothers and sisters around you, so that they can ultimately help you reach the goal and help them to reach their goals. For with God, nothing is impossible. Why? Because you acknowledge him first and you put your thoughts with him. You lean on the Most High God. That's going to help you realize what your goal is and determine if it's reachable or not, you know? So now let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
So the Most High ain't gave us a spirit of fear. So when you're setting your goals and when you're trying to do anything in life, stop being scared. I don't know, man. The last person that tried it, they ain't make it. Stop being scared. That makes the difference between you and the next brother or sister, especially being in this truth. That what makes you different from those who don't know who they are. Because the Lord gave you a spirit of power, not of fear, and a sound mind, knowing who you are, knowing what's going on, knowing what the ultimate goal is. There's no reason for you to be scared anymore, unprepared anymore. The Lord gave you the answer to everything that you seek right here in the book that you read before you. There's no reason to be scared of anything anymore, knowing that when dealing with the Most High ain't nothing impossible. But the world will tell you, and your friends and your circles will tell you, some of your family members will tell you that these goals that you're setting are too high to reach, or it's impossible. That's a mission impossible. But you need to understand that with the Lord, all things is possible. And when you have a mindset like that, you know, you'll see the difference in your life. Let's go to Proverbs 23 and 7 right quick. Proverbs 23 and 7.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 23 and verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, said he to thee, but his heart is not with thee.
So what we want to take away from that verse is, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. You scared? You're going to be scary. You know, if you are dedicated, prepared, organized, you're going to be successful. You know, you're going to complete that goal without fear of mind or fear of failure. You know, as a man thinketh, so is he. You know, just like it is in the world. You know, you want to be rich, you got to think on that type of level. That's not what we think on, but just like they say in the world, you want to, what they say, marry or date individuals in that particular field. You want to make money like these brothers and sisters or like the top 5% of the world. You got to think like them. You got to act like them. You got to be in them circles in order to reach that goal. But being in this truth, how much more are we? You know? So the next step to planning a goal would be to strategize.
Let me get this. Let me get a scripture real quick, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
I gotta get it. It's one of my favorites. Luke chapter 14.
This the one I got coming up next.
All praise.
All right. Go ahead, get that.
Luke chapter, don't get it yet.
Go ahead.
Okay, Luke chapter 14 and verse 27. And it says, and whosoever doeth not bear his cross and cometh after me cannot be my disciple. And it's really going into, taking on your tribulation, your affliction, whatever it may be in this world that the Lord may have for you. But 28 is the point. It says, for which of you intended to build a tower, sit it down not first and counted the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it. And it's going to tell you sitting down and realizing what you got to do in order to continue this walk and endure. It's not going to be an easy walk. So, hey, you don't just go out here and just intend to do anything without strategizing, without coming up with a plan, being organized, like you're saying. You got to sit down diligently and think it all the way full through,
That's right. Hey, keep reading that to 31.
It says, verse 29, less happy after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. You definitely don't want that. Come. And it says, verse 30, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Verse 31, or what king going to make war against another king, sit it not down first, consulted whether he be able to 10,000 to meet with him that cometh against him with 20,000.
It's a simple scripture, but it's common sense. But this is one of the things that we lack in Israel. We don't think about the things that we trying to do, and we need to. Because when you don't, you be made fool or made mockery. Look at this fool. He set out to try to take over the world and ain't have the first thought on how to do it. He didn't seek no counsel. He didn't write nothing down. He didn't do nothing. But he came out there trying to take over the world. He said,
hey, can I say something? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just was going to say that's kind of like when Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt. It was some of them asking Moses, what we going to do now, man? Some of them felt like they should have stayed in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
What the plan is. They wanted to know that. But he had a plan.
And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, throughout life, you'll realize that you can't tell everybody your goal. Because they'll try their damnedest to try to destroy it. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Most High he didn't wake up everybody at one time. He didn't say, hey, everybody raise up against Pharaoh. Nah, he sent one individual to meet up with a few more individuals to get the job done. Because he don't need everybody to get a job done to complete his mission. So, like the scriptures say, what king don't sit down before war? Let me see, verse 31. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulted whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. That's basic. It's simple. It's plain upon table. Sit down and think before you do anything. So this slide that I got up right here is basically an idea or the first stage or the realization of your plan or your thought, and we're going to use the example of reading the scriptures or reading the Bible more each week. That's the thought. The goal is I need to read more each week. What's the benefit? The more that I read, the more I can teach, the more I can apply to my own life. Is it attainable? Can I reach this goal? Yes, even with a busy schedule, this goal can be done. To do what? Build your spirit up. The more you can build yourself, your family, and go out and teach your brothers and sisters. Be that example. Be that light you were created to be. So let's go to 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. Like I said, it's 5 basic steps to creating a plan. And we in step 2 right now, strategize. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40.
1 Corinthians 14 and verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
You see that? That's what we're doing right here. We defining our destination, our goal, breaking it down step by step, creating a path to reach, you know, doing things in order. That's what the Lord commands us to do. Let's go to Proverbs 24 and 27. What am I showing you? That the Lord tells you and shows you throughout the scriptures how to organize and succeed, strategize, reach your goals, how to accomplish different things by leaning on Him, meditating on His word, searching the scriptures, showing yourself or studying to show yourself approved. Let's bring it up.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 27. Prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thy house.
You see that? Prepare and do. The Most High didn't create everything in one day. That's plain. That's in the scriptures. But He had a plan. He strategized on what He wanted to do on each and every day. Everything is not going to be done in one day. What's the old saying in the world? Rome wasn't built in a day. Same principle, you know. But prepare thy work and make fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thy house. So in order to prepare, that means you got to strategize. I think I went over this beforehand. It's just like cooking a meal. You don't just throw frozen meat on your plate. You got to prep. Think about it. Hey, I want to have this type of meal tonight. You get all the ingredients, what's necessary. If the meat froze, you leave that meat out in the sink or whatever to thaw out. So when you get off work or get home, you can mix up and cook the meal that you need. Have all the ingredients, but you've prepared to do that work. Let's go to James chapter 4 and verse 13. James chapter 4 and 13. Somebody give me Exodus chapter 18. So we in step 2 of strategizing to reach that goal. Like the picture is showing, or the GIF saying, hope is not a strategy. You can hope on a lot of things, but that's not a strategy. You have hope that I hope it don't rain tomorrow. That ain't gonna help you with nothing. You just hoping and praying that it don't rain tomorrow. How is that going to help you reach your goal? You know, I hope they don't have this for lunch at school, or they don't have this for lunch at work. That's not going to help you reach or attain any goal in your life. It's not a strategy. A strategy is simply a plan, breaking it down to reach a goal. But let's bring it up.
The book of James, chapter 4 and verse what?
4 and 13. You're gonna read that.
James chapter 4 and verse 13. Go now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such city and continue there a year, and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time, and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. But now ye rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin.
You see that? To him it is sin. But the Lord saying, go now. Ye that say today or tomorrow, we will go into the city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get grain. The Lord letting you know what kind of mindset is that. You ain't guaranteed to wake up tomorrow, next week, the next hour. So why are you wasting time? Why are you putting off what you could be doing now? If anything, say if it's the Lord's will, you know. But still strategize, have something in mind, dedicating that work and those thoughts to the Most High God so he can help you accomplish that goal. And if it be his will, he'll let you obtain it. But for now, let's go to Exodus 18 and 25. Exodus chapter 18, verse 25.
Book of
Exodus
Exodus.
chapter 18. You got that, Bruce?
I got you. Yeah, the book of Exodus, chapter 18 and verse 25. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers over 1,000, ruler over hundreds, ruler over 50s, ruler over tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves.
So what are
And
we getting
Moses,
out of this? Let me get Proverbs 11, verse 14. We looking at this, and Moses chose able men out of Israel and gave them goals, gave them tasks in order to accomplish the goal. The goal was to be able to help judge the people. And his father-in-law, Jethro, came to Moses and let him know, hey, man, what you doing is too much stress on you. You got all these people, all these willing and able-bodied brothers and sisters, we're brothers, that can help you to judge the people. You know, appoint some of them with different roles and different tasks so they can handle and make the job easier to accomplish the goal that's set in front of you, you know? And that's what he did, you know? Everybody has a job, a role. So use what you have, basically. From there, let's go to Proverbs 11 and 14. Use what you have in order to obtain a goal. You know, one of the things that I say constantly, especially dealing with the kids, is you have what my pops used to call YouTube University. Everybody know that you can find and learn damn near anything on YouTube. But for some odd reason, the children struggle in school today. When you have YouTube right there that'll teach you how to do damn near everything. You want to build a house, it's a video on it. You want to learn how to cook a meal, it's a video on it. How to design clothes, how to write a song, how to sing, how to dance, whatever the case may be. How to work on your car, even how to build a car. It's on YouTube. Right now, the information is infinite. But for some odd reason, our people don't use the necessary materials that's available to them. And that's one of the things that plague us as a people. We have all the information and the materials that we need, but we don't use it. And we end up prolonging our goals, our missions, because we don't use what's available to us. But that's what Moses was doing, using what was right in front of him to help reach the goal. And it wasn't for himself, it was for everybody. Because he wasn't strong enough to do it all the whole time anyway. That's why it was brought to his attention. And it gave other brothers in the congregation a chance to build themselves up and help judge the people, keep Israel in order. But let's go to Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14.
the book of Proverbs,
Acts chapter 8 and 30.
the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 14. Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
Read that one more time.
Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
You see that? Where no counsel is, no what's the word I'm looking for? No counsel, no conversation, no what they call it, round table. Where no counsel is, the people fall, you know. But in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. Why? Because you got brothers and sisters giving feedback, giving knowledge constantly. New ideas, trying to bring things up, trying to build you up, you know, help you along to reach your goal. You know, if you as an individual come to a group of counselors or brothers and sisters and let them know, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is my goal. What do you think? What do you think they're going to do? Start shooting it down? No, they're going to try to add in what they know to help further you along to reach that goal. Hey, yeah, you know, trying to buy a house, thinking about that. All right, brother, that's a commendable task or something for you to be striving for. That's beneficial for you in the long haul, for your family. Hey, when you going through that road, this is something that you should look at or consider. You know, that's why it's safety in a multitude of counselors. But when you don't, and we just running our own thoughts without consulting with the Most High, just running with the ways of the world, we end up stumbling and falling constantly over the same ideas and thoughts that have already been perfected, trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. You know, and the scripture just basically saying it's safety and counsel. So understand that as well. Let's go to Acts chapter 8, verse 30. Somebody give me Proverbs 20 and 15.
Acts chapter 8 and verse 30. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah. What is that?
Isaiah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm starting it over. And Philip ran up thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah and said, Understand thou what thou readest.
Keep going.
Verse 31. And he said, How can I except some man guide me? And
That's it.
Okay.
So basically, he asking another brother, he reading the scriptures. He asking, do you understand what you're reading right now? He said, how can I except some man guide me? So simple as it is to read or do whatever, you know, trying to attain a goal in life, guess what? You're gonna need some form of guidance, you know. And that's the thing that you're gonna need some form of guidance, and that's what we all need to strive for and understand that you can't do it on your own. Nobody who was ever successful did it on their own. Moses, he didn't do it on his own. Abraham didn't do it on his own. Isaac, Jacob, Christ, they didn't do it on their own. You know, Christ had to learn. He needed guidance. Moses had to learn. So we shouldn't be in that mindset where we think we can't be taught anything. We too old, we too young. You can always learn something. And in order to get things done, we need to realize nothing is done on our own. That's why the Most High gave man and woman. It ain't good for man to be alone or to do this on his own.
Let me get a scripture real quick, bro. Come.
Go ahead, bring it up.
Let me get Ecclesiastes 4:9. It says Ecclesiastes 4:9. Two are better than one because they have good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up.
Break it down, bro.
It's going to say, hey, you need your brothers, you need your sisters, you need elders, you need people to be able to guide you in the right way. Ultimately, you need the scriptures. But hey, if you without and you fall and you don't have no understanding, like you said, you have brothers that have experience in certain things that, hey, if you got a goal, you know, you could throw some, you know, knowledge out there. But if you don't have any brothers or sisters that may have knowledge or history or experience, then you're just gonna be out here and you're just gonna be repeating yourself in different cycles, going through the same things, you know.
That's right.
Instead of you know allowing your brothers, you know, to guide you in the right way.
That's why you have to get the like-minded brothers and sisters to congregate with.
What is that? That's be ye continually.
That's right. So, you know, this is still part 2 to the strategy. You know, going back to the example we were using on trying to do what come up with more time to be able to study and read. So this is just a little thing that I put together just to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we're trying to get from point A, which is little to no reading, to point B, which is plenty of read. And step 1, you'll figure out something simple as to just a basic minimum saying I got 30 to 60 minutes of free time every day to read. That's at break time at work or in the restroom or while driving to and from work, you know, every day. So there's 4 different time slots available to read. even to listen to an audio book. They say avoid. Number 3 is avoiding to scroll on social media or watching sports all the time. You know, they're not gonna have any benefit or help you to reach your goal. That's why you want to avoid from doing those things. Part of the strategy would be reading at least one chapter each day for 2 weeks. Making sure while reading to take notes and highlight key points, just to help you further be engaged more into reading, so that you're not just reading through it, but you're actually breaking it down as you go and can understand and point out key things. Number 6 would be to listen to the audio reading for 10 minutes on the way to work, 5 to 10 minutes at work, listen to 5 to 10 minutes on the way home, another 5 minutes while you at the house, giving you 30 to 60 minutes worth of time each and every day to read the scriptures. Because I know, just like many of us, we'll make up all type of excuses to say I ain't got time or I didn't have time to read today. When 5 to 10 minutes, you can get a lot done with that,
Right.
But another way to help stay on point with that goal would be to discuss the content that you done read with your family and challenge them to read as well. So you guys can constantly quiz each other, build each other up, and then you'll be able to use what you read to gauge it against the things in real life. Verse 8 would be, number 8, cross out each day or the week that I complete my goal on the calendar, review that process at the end of each week. So that's just part of building a basic strategy in order to reach that goal, So step 3 would be to visualize it, to see what happens, to display your plan in a common area, whether it be on a wall, a mirror, just to keep you reminded as to what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish, whether it be on your door, your phone, adding daily or weekly tasks to that board. Like in my household, we use one of them dry erase boards with a calendar, dry erase calendar board. And we'll have certain things on there, just I'll put an example for paying bills so that there's no surprises. We'll put all the bills that have to be paid each week on the board for every time we get paid. Everything is listed out, not actually the amount, but we'll have exactly what need to be paid each week. Therefore, there are no surprises and everybody knows and is on the same page with knowing what has to be paid. Now, we can go deeper into that, but that's just a short or quick example to show our brothers and sisters how we can be organized. I know for a long time, I never used it. It's whatever came in the mailbox, and if I remember to pay it, then I would pay it. I didn't make plans on, hey, I got to put this amount of money to the side, or I got to make this amount of money because I know this is coming up. Nah, it was go to work, make money, and then whatever pop up first, I pay. That's how most of us get down. But in Israel, we need to get more organized. We're the most talented and special people on the planet. So if we can go beyond and over the edge to do wickedness, imagine how we could do when we do righteous, when we acting righteous, being organized. Imagine how far we can go. We'll be just like we were in the scriptures, dealing with King David and King Solomon. Let's go to Matthew 13 and 16. Because part of that visualization is seeing what you got to be done, seeing what has to be done, and by placing your plan or your goals in front of you every day, you see where you're going. You're seeing the necessary work or the strength or the energy that has to be committed in order to reach that goal. And when it's displayed in an area that you can see every day, The more that is displayed or written down, the less you have to remember. Like I said beforehand, I used to just wait for whatever came in the mail, I pay, or whatever I could remember. But if I write it down, I don't have to remember. I can go to this book or go to this calendar every day, and I can set my goals accordingly, helping me to accomplish my task and knock them out day in and day out, allowing me to get things done on a constant, you know. So let's get that. Matthew 13 and 16.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For
Read it one more time.
Okay, book of Matthew, chapter 13 and 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
You see that? So now being in this truth, we all were able to see beforehand, you know, eyes wide open, blessed enough to be able to hear, but we weren't able to really see or hear. You know, being in this truth, your eyes have been open to all the different lies that you've been taught throughout your life, all the different atrocities and the reason why things happen. You have new eyes now, a new set of eyes to be able to see what's going on. And how much more when you be able to see now that the Lord then brought you into this truth, and now that you're organized, now you can see yourself doing things you never even thought of beforehand. Beforehand, just like most of us, I would have never thought 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I'd be teaching the word of God.
Man, what?
Be out on the corner talking to my brothers and sisters, trying to convince them to keep the commandments of God. I would have never dreamed it. And majority of us could say the same thing. You know, it is what it is. But now that we have eyes, spiritual eyes, we can see what the hell going on. And we see the need to continue to do what we do. We see the importance of it. You know, we able to visualize what's important. So that's part 3 of planning or being organized, being able to see. That's a key to success. But from there, let's go to Colossians chapter 3 and 23. This is the 4th step. You know, the acting, putting in work. This is what I meant by the visualizing, seeing this the calendar. Just say you had 2 weeks that you wanted to see how many days that you can go reading at least a chapter a day. You would go through starting that Monday, that work week, beginning that work week. If you was able to do fulfill those tasks by reading those 4 different time slots, during those 4 different time slots, you put that X on there, put your added event on there, like the Sabbath. We ain't gonna do no extra work, even though reading is not work. But we just letting you know that's the Sabbath. We might be out teaching all day or something. You know, we might be doing something with the kids, teaching them, taking them somewhere, doing something with them. So you start back over the next week. Wednesday come, you ain't get no sleep. You know, come the weekend, you watching football, SEC championship. I was guilty of that. I watched it. But you know what I'm saying? Every week you try to X out and meet that goal of reading and building yourself up. You know, when you don't accomplish that goal, then you got to review it. But it says to visualize, see your goal, and progress every day to remind yourself of your goal. One of the things I always tell my brothers is have one of these books, a little small memo book, which allows you to write down your daily tasks in a memo book to be checked throughout the day as a reminder. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying earlier, when you have something displayed on a constant, that's the less you have to remind yourself or remember. So using this little book right here, it's one of the things that I use. Other brothers might use digital phones, things of that nature. But to have a calendar in front of you for a visual aid and to have this book in your pocket every day to help you reach your goal is something that a lot of us need to try. You know, I don't know how many tasks this book right here has helped me with him throughout my life. It might not be the same for everybody, but it's one thing that does work. You know, I come up with a different thought, you know, whether it be a new idea to be able to bring out the truth. I'll jot it down. Oh man, I need to come up with this class. Or I'll hear a scripture I never heard before, write it down. I can come back, I can use that later. Come back at the end of the day or the next day, add on to it. And as things go on, I exit off. You know, pay bills, study, do this assignment, work out, go to the grocery store, whatever the case may be. After I do each one, I check it off. At the end of the day, I can go back to that book and realize, okay, I did 9 out of the 10 things. The next day, I'll put that on the list for tomorrow and add to that and continue to go on and go on. And that's how I continue to grow and build and be able to accomplish the things that I do on a daily. You know, it's nothing secretive or genius about. It's just being organized to an extent. I can be a lot better than what I am now. And that's what I'm striving to be just by doing this class. It done taught me how to dig a little deeper in order to get things done. So next scripture was Colossians 3:23.
All
The
right.
book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord, and not unto man.
You see that? Whatever you do it as if you're doing it to the Lord. You know, I used to have a mindset like majority of our folk, you know, especially going to work. Be like, man, I ain't got time. I don't feel like dealing with this person. I don't feel like dealing with these people. But once I came into this truth, I realized those people didn't wake me up this morning. Those people are not making sure that I'm fed at night. They're not making sure I got a roof over my head, nor that I'm safe or that my family's taken care of. I had to sit back and self-examine and realize who was really in control. So after reading that scripture, and it let me know I'm supposed to be working and doing all things as if I'm doing it for the Lord. Because He's the one that gave me that job. He is the one that woke me up that morning. He gave me the strength and the energy to go to that job. You know, He protected me and provided for me while I was going to and fro. So when I'm at work, I do what I can for the Lord, not for man. And that's one of the things that we need to understand as brothers and sisters in this truth for the nation of Israel. When we do anything, we do it as if we're doing it to the Lord. Why? Because He is the one blessing us with each and every day that we wake up. It ain't about nobody else. It's about what the Lord do for us. So everything that we do, we need to be doing for the Lord. We can't be making up excuses because there's plenty of other brothers and sisters that would love to be in our place right now. Regardless how bad you think you got it, there's somebody that got it way worse. And they would give a right arm to be in your spot. So that's where the backbiting and the murmuring and things of that nature got to cease. You know, we can't keep making up excuses. It's time to put in work and execute. That's what step 4 is all about, execution. You know, you sat down, you done thought about it, you done strategized, you got it all on the walls, you got it in your book. Now it's time to put in that work and communicate with everybody that's involved, whether it be your family, your friends, your co-workers, your business partners, whatever it may be. It's time to communicate, put in that work. You know, that's execution. That's another key to success. But let's get 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6. And somebody give me Proverbs 14:23. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6.
You said 3 and 6.
Yeah.
The book
Going
of
out of Proverbs.
Proverbs 14:23.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, and verse 6. I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase.
Read the 9.
So then neither is he that planted anything, neither he that watered, but God that giveth the increase. Now he that planted and he that watered are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with God. and ye are God's husbandry, and ye are God's buildings.
You see that? Paul was saying, I have planted the seed of this truth. Said Apollos watered it. He fed it. And he kept giving more knowledge, more understanding. But God gave the increase. That's the same thing with a plan. You know, you commit your thoughts and your works to him. He going to give you the increase, depending on what it is, if it be the Lord's will. It says, so then neither is he that planteth anything, neither is he that watereth, but God that giveth the increase. It ain't about us. This is the Lord gonna make it work for you. You know, we need to be making sure that whatever the plan or the goal is something that's pleasing to the Most High. It said, verse 8, now he that planteth and he that watereth are one. Meaning on the same page, same mindset. And every man shall receive of his own reward according to his own labor. The scriptures tell you that all work is profitable. You know, so you're going to receive what you put in. The scriptures tell you that all the time. Man going to reap what he sow. So what you put out is what you're going to get out. I mean, what you put in is what you get out. And it said, for we are laborers, meaning a laborer is somebody that put in work. It ain't nobody that sit on the couch. It ain't nobody that just sitting back, relaxing, thinking things just going to come to you. A laborer is somebody that put in work. It said, for we are laborers together with God, keeping them commandments. That's labor. Striving to build the ministry to push this truth. That's labor. Ye are God's husbandry, meaning his work. Husbandry is another word of farming or farmer. You are God's building, you know. We represent the Most High, supposed to, you know, by being that light, being that salt of the world or the earth that we were created to be, you know. But from there, let's go to Proverbs 14:23. The Most High gonna get an increase. Proverbs 14:23.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 23. In all labor there is profit, but talk of the lips tendeth only to penury.
Read that again.
In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury.
Penury is another word for poverty. It said, in all labor there's profit. Anything you do, whether good or bad, there's going to be some profit in it. But the talk of the lips tended only to penury or poverty. You know, you set a goal. I'll give you a perfect example. You set a goal, I want to lose some weight. You plan a goal or you plan it, you stick to it, you lose the weight, there's your reward. But if you just saying, I want to lose some weight and you don't actually do nothing, guess what? You're going to stay in that same position, that same rut, just wishing and wanting. You're not going to go anywhere. That's plain upon table. Simple. But when you put some action behind it, whether it be walking around the block once a day, you're going to see some results from that. All work is profitable. If you watch videos on how to change your diet, it's profit in that because you're going to change what you buy at the store. You're going to change what you cook, change what you eat. It's profit in that. All work is profitable. But now let's go to Galatians chapter 6 and verse 4. And somebody give me 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. So step 4 of planning the plan is to act, to execute. When you putting in work, you got to track your progress as well. That's why on that calendar beforehand, it was telling you to X off every day that you completed the task. That's letting you track your progress. That's just one example. There's many different forms to do so, but this is just one example. Track your progress and focus on what can be controlled, not on what can't, but what can be controlled. Don't worry about the weather. You can't change the weather. That shouldn't dictate your plan or you reaching your goal. Oh, it's gonna rain today. I can't read. No, that ain't got nothing to do with it. It's hot outside. That ain't got nothing to do with you reading. You know, it's mosquitoes buzzing around. They bothering me. That ain't got nothing to do with you reading. Focus on what can be controlled. You know, stay disciplined. Basically, stay dedicated to whatever your goal is. You know, read it.
The book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 4. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another.
You see that? Let me get that right quick.
The book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 4. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another.
You see that? Read verse 5.
Verse 5. For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things.
You see that? Basically, what the Lord is saying right here is prove your work worthy and rejoice in it. You know, let every man prove his own work. Did he really put the work in that was necessary? You know, in order to reach that goal. Then he shall have rejoicing in himself alone. Just think about all right, we talking about reading more in the scriptures. Your goal was to read one chapter a day for 2 weeks. But you started getting into it. You realize how good the scriptures are, how it's feeding your soul. Now you reading 4 chapters. After 1 week, you reading 4 chapters a day. Now you stand back at the end of 2 weeks and you're like, damn, I done went through 3-4 books. Now you're going to rejoice in yourself. Rejoice alone. You ain't going to need nobody else to help celebrate you. You're going to celebrate yourself because of the work that you done put in. And not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. You're going to have your ups and downs. But prove your own work worthy and rejoice in it. Whatever it is, whatever goal you have, make sure that it's worthy. Hey, man, this helped build my family. This helped me save money. This helped me get on my feet. I was able to get the house that my family needed. I was able to open this business and get it running. It's just like a man that love to work with his hands. When he get through doing what he do, he step back and he rejoice over that thing. He rejoicing over the fruits of his works, looking at what he did with his hands. You know, that's what the Lord is saying right there. But let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. In this stage, this is what's called a review stage, you know, where you checking your progress, determining whether or not you hit your targets or not, you know, and if not, then you adjusting your plans. And if you got somebody in your group or in your family, you encouraging them and promoting good performance, you know, trying to encourage them to do more, do bigger and better things, you know, because ultimately that's going to make you better and make them better. And then if you're not hitting your targets, you're going to have to reshape or refocus your plan in order to reach your goal. You know, it might take you 5 weeks instead of 4 to accomplish that goal, but you accomplish that goal nonetheless. But you need to constantly review what you're doing. A lot of us will, what they do in the world, New Year's resolutions. Wow, man, I'm going to save $1,000 every week. I want to know where they work, but you know what I'm saying? They own $1,000 a week they can put in their pocket, you know. But they might do it 1 week, they crump. The following week, they got 500. The week after that, they was only able to save 100. Then now they ain't even trying to save no more. You know, that's why you got to constantly review and check your progress and realize why I didn't make my goal, why I didn't hit my target. And I got to make adjustments to keep me on the path to reaching my goal. But let's bring that out.
2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobate?
Read that
And
one
see,
more time.
examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobate?
You see that? That's 3 and 13, 15. I went to the wrong verse. So in this
What verse?
reviewing process, say what?
Okay, go ahead. I thought you said so. I thought you said I was in the wrong
Just
verse. Go
saying, in this reviewing stage or the reviewing process, you got to examine yourself. That's what it was saying about checking your targets to make sure you hit them or not. Review what you've been doing, not only just to keep you in line, but to uh, make you look at yourself in the mirror day in and day out. Man, why I ain't focused like I used to be? What spirit and jumped on me to turn me otherwise? Why I ain't as focused or on fire as I used to be? What changed? You got to self-examine yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror. Relationships go sour, sideways. You got to look at those things. You got to self-examine. You ain't doing the things you used to. You're sleeping now more. You're tired more. You got to self-examine. Why I can't accomplish the goals I used to be able to do with the snap of a finger? Why is it taking me this long now? Why I can't figure this out? I used to be able to do this and do that, just like that. But now I'm struggling. Now I ain't on fire as I used to be. What changed? That's what self-examination is, a review of progress. And that's what the Lord is saying right here. Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. You got to prove it to yourself. What's the saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Same thing when dealing with yourself. Ain't nobody can't nobody prove nothing to you unless you prove it to yourself first. Just like coming into this truth. We all heard about we ain't supposed to celebrate the pagan holiday. It was like, that sounds good. But once we read it for ourselves and proved it to ourselves, then we realize, okay, now it's true. Now, and you see the facts and the statistics behind it, and you see what's going on in the world. Now you done proved it to yourself. Now you understand, all right, I can't celebrate Christmas. This is all a plot, a scheme to keep me in sin. Now I can't continue to celebrate Thanksgiving. That's celebrating the slaughter of my people. I can't celebrate Halloween. That's celebrating the damn devil, Satan. That's following behind the ways of the heathen. You proving to yourself. Know ye not your own selves, how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobate. That's how you examine yourself, to find your way back to what you were supposed to be doing, which was fearing the Lord, keeping his commandments. When you start going off, you got to re-examine yourself and figure, Christ is in me. Why I'm going opposite of him? That means some spirits on me. Some trying to turn me the other way. I need to refocus. I need to get back in these scriptures, dive deep in it, and get back on fire. My oil leaking out my lamp. I ain't on fire like I used to be. I need to put some more oil in there and turn the heat up. Self-examination. But I got one more video that you all see right here. I'm gonna play that for you. And brother bring out good points. I don't necessarily believe in philosophy, but what he's talking about is time management. And it's very good points. And we'll bring it out. What happened?
All the elements you need for your next big breakthrough are all on one platform.
I was old. My biggest fear was to get bored. I used to make to-do lists every single day, so I'd always have something to do. But one day I was watching this documentary on sea turtles, and it said that sea turtles can live up to 150 years of age. And I realized, as a 6-year-old kid, I'm probably not going to live that long. I'm going to die. It was such a strange realization. Don't you feel weird sometimes when you realize that no matter what you do in life, you're still going to die in the end? So I ran to my mother and asked her, Mom, is it true that we're all going to die someday? You, me, Dad, my friends? And she said, yes, we're all going to die. There's nothing you can do about that. And I was horrified. I started to cry, and I cried so hard because of what death meant. It literally means the end of existence, the end of everything. And I wondered, what's the point of all this? So I turned to my mom, still crying, and said, so why do we work? Why do I have to work? Why does Dad have to work so much if he and everybody else are going to die anyway? She never answered my question. But that question stuck with me. I ask myself a lot of questions, and I'm sure you do too. That's what philosophy is all about, asking questions. And what could be more important than asking questions about how to use your time? Probably nothing, because time is all we have. So naturally, you would expect the whole time management movement to be very philosophical. After all, time management is a concept that started out in philosophy. The ancient philosophers were obsessed with this one very important question. How can we use our time in a way that makes our lives meaningful? But modern time management is philosophically empty. Time management books are written by consultants, not philosophers. It's always about tips and tricks and techniques to get more things done, to do things faster, to be more productive, more efficient, and to work better. Time management has become philosophically empty. Time management has moved away from its philosophical roots. But if we really want to live a meaningful life, we have to once again reinfuse time management with philosophy. And philosophy, questions. Here's a very simple question. Why do we need to manage time? Some people might say it's because time is precious, very precious, so we need to manage it. But how precious is time exactly? See, whenever I introduce myself to people as a time management researcher, the first thing people say is, oh yeah, time management, that's really important because time is money. Time is money. Every time I hear time is money, it reminds me of this conversation I had over coffee with this acquaintance of mine. He was a contractor. As we were talking, he looked slightly annoyed and impatient. So I asked him, Jeff, what's going on, man? Everything all right? And he said, it's just that I hate wasting my time. It makes me so angry. So I asked him, what do you mean? And he said, look, I make $160 an hour. That means every hour I spend with you, I'm losing $160. I was slightly offended, to be honest. But it's what he said next that really shocked me. He said, whenever I'm spending time with my own kids, it makes me so angry because, yeah, I'm spending time with them, but every hour I spend with my kids, I'm not making $160. And this is not just an anecdote. You can see this everywhere. Experiments show that whenever people start to think of time as money, they become more agitated, less happy, always in a rush. And importantly, they get greedy. They become less likely to help people out, to volunteer, or to think about the environment. Because nothing else matters when you're making $160 an hour. The real question is money the real value of time? The Roman philosopher Seneca said that if we think of time as money, we're actually valuing our time very cheaply. We value our time very cheaply because we think we have a lot of it, because we think we're going to live forever. But we're not going to live forever. We're going to die. And the moment you realize, and I mean fully realize, that you're going to die, $160 an hour won't mean much. Time is not money anymore. Now, some people might say that thinking about death is not exactly cheerful. Maybe. but it's very helpful. The French philosopher Albert Camus said that the most fundamental question in philosophy is, why shouldn't I kill myself right now? It's true. Why shouldn't you kill yourself right now? Your answer to that question will remind you what you're truly living for. Your answer to that question will remind you of the true value of your time. Because time is not money when you know you're going to die. And this is how philosophy helps with time management. It helps us ask meaningful questions about time. Here's another seemingly simple question. Can you manage time? Back in college, I had this professor who used to tell me that you can't manage time. Time management is bullshit. You can't manage time because there's too many things to do, too much work to do, too many obligations. You can't manage time. She used to publicly brag about how she never sees her daughter because she never has time. People admired her because she was so productive. But what people didn't know was that her work obligations also made her depressed. They cost her a marriage. And of course, she never really got to know her daughter. But what truly pains me is that things could have been otherwise. She could have been alive today and see her daughter grow up. But she didn't believe that time could be managed, so she never tried. Whenever I used to drop by her office, she would tell me, "Sorry, kiddo, I don't have time." But that was a lie. "I don't have time" is the biggest lie in the history of mankind. You know who really didn't have time? Your great-grandparents. Those guys had no time at all. They had to work 12 hours a day every single day. And it's not just work. Everything back then was more time-consuming. People didn't have washing machines, so they had to wash everything by hand. They didn't have frozen meals, so they had to cook everything from scratch. And all those things took hours to do back in the days. That's why our great-grandparents really didn't have time. But here's the incredible thing. Our great-grandparents did not complain about not having time. We do. It's a paradox. We have more time than they did, and yet we still complain that we don't have time. Why? Because we have more options. More freedom to choose our time options as we please. Look at how we live today. We can shop on Amazon 24/7, any day of the year. Women can delay pregnancy by freezing their eggs. More and more companies offer flexible work schedules. We can watch our favorite shows anytime we want on Netflix. So not only do we have more time, we also have a lot more flexibility. A lot more. A lot more freedom to use our time as we please. And we still say that we don't have time. Why? The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre said that we have this tendency to trick ourselves into thinking we're not free. Because being free to use your time as you please means that you have to make a choice and live with the consequences of that choice. That means whatever you do with your time is on you. And that's the scary part. It's scary because what if we made the wrong choices? What if we're missing out? It's this constant fear of missing out. Would your life have been better had you spent more time with your kids? Or more time studying? Or more time partying? Maybe we don't want to know. That's why we say we don't have time. It gives us an excuse. It's reassuring. But in reality, we do have time. And time can be managed. It's just that we don't have a lot of it. So there have to be sacrifices. We can't have it all. When it comes to time, we can either make sacrifices or make excuses. But only one of them will allow you to live meaningfully. We live in an era of unprecedented flexibility, where we can actually afford to work less and do more meaningful things with our time, so why don't we? And by we, I really mean us. You, me, and everybody else in the city. Because time management is not just about you. It's about all of us. It's about all of us as a society.
So just as the brother was saying, it affects us all. Time management is key, you know, to doing anything. I don't agree with the philosophy. The scripts say, you know, let's get there right quick in Colossians 2:8. Colossians chapter 2:8. But the brother was bringing out pretty good facts, you know. We got access to all types of different technologies, making our lives easier, but yet and still we make up excuses as to why we can't do certain things when we have an abundance of time to do all things. Let's get that Colossians 2:8 right quick.
The book of
Colossians.
Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of man, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
You see that? We ain't following the man's philosophy, but the key point that he did bring out in the video was that we do need to manage what we have. Every breath that we blessed to breathe day in and day out, take advantage of it. We can't keep making up excuses and pushing things off, thinking we gotta or assuming that we got another day to do so. You know, we need to push hard, grind hard day in and day out, and remember what the ultimate goal is. Not to make money, not to have a good time, but to endure for the kingdom, for the elect's sake, doing what the Lord requires of us. Let's go to Romans chapter 12 and 11. And then somebody give me 1 Corinthians 15 and 58.
The book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 11. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer.
So the Lord say, basically, don't be lazy, be on fire, you know, serving the Lord in all that you do. Rejoicing in it, being patient in your tribulation, your shortcomings, but continually instant in prayer, fervent in the spirit, serving the Lord, not slothful in business. You know, I read those things backwards, but they still go together. You know, the Lord is basically saying, don't be lazy, quit making excuses, stay on fire, put in that work. You know, anybody got anything they want to add? If not, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58, and then we're going to close it up.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
You see that? Be steadfast, unmovable all the time, whether it be for your plan, for your goal that you're trying to reach, or in this truth for the Lord. Be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work for the Lord. When you set your goals and your plans in life, make sure they doing something toward the Lord. You know, glorifying him, magnifying him, showing how much he done for you, acknowledging him, giving your thoughts to him, doing as he has commanded of you in order to reach that goal. When you do so, watch how your life change. And on that note, we're going to close it out. I'm Brother Ananias.
Brother Benaiah.
Brother Eric.
Brother Baruch.
And we are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And we say Shalom.